Hello and Happy New Year's to all you viewers of Import Gaming for the Win, all 5 of you. This is Jimmy Hoppa, obviously, and I'm here celebrating the Japanese New Year, obviously. Well, not really, it's a little bit past, but whatever. I figured I would do another pickups video to ring in the new year, because you know how popular those are. Well, you know, I'm kind of halfway joking, but people seem to like it, so I figured I'd share all the cool games that I picked up during the end of 2016 and the beginning of 2017, since I had a little bit of a holiday and I was able to do a little bit of light shopping here and there. But I picked up a whole bunch of games, and nothing quite amazing like in that last pickups video I do with Akihabara stuff, but I think there's probably something people will be interested in, and I need some filler content, right? Everybody likes filler content. But so I think I'll just go ahead and just do this video. I'll try to do it as quick as possible, but I have a feeling, just because of how much I end up picking up, it's going to be a lot longer than I want. Maybe even longer than the Akihabara pickups video. But yeah, well, let me just go ahead and start then, and move this out of the way. Hope everybody's enjoying their year. Let's see, I'll use this over here, get rid of that glare. Last time I used Ghouls and Ghosts, and now this time I'm going to use a little bit of Darkstalkers. And I think I'll try to... I kind of have things set over here on the side, and I'm going to try to do things from old systems to things that are more current. Nothing too current. But I'll start off with Famicom, and I guess I'll just go with cart only, which I don't really collect too many carts, but you know, if the price is right, I'm definitely going to pick it up. And I have accumulated a lot of Famicom cards, unfortunately. I'm a complete box snob. But here you go. This is Daiku no Gensan Akage no Dan no Gyakushu from Irem, and this is obviously a Famicom game, but I think it's a Japan-only Famicom game. I think the first one was released as Hammer and Harry arcade game as well. But yeah, really great series, action platforming game. Irem tends to make pretty good games. The Game Boy games of this are really great. But yeah, fun game, and I paid $15 for this, which is way more than I'd want to pay for any loose cart. But it's actually kind of a hard to find and a little bit pricey game, so I was happy with that. One thing I like about Irem games is kind of like Jalico games, and I think I'll show one off later. But they have these little back labels with a little screenshot and a little place for you to write your name. You never dare to write your name. But yeah, Hammer and Harry 2. Let's see over here. This is the first Gegege no Kitaro game for the Famicom, obviously. Bandai is the publisher, and I'm going to assume developer. But this is another platforming game. Oh, let me see back. Another platforming game, and I think this got released at least in North America, as a different game. They just kind of changed the graphics and some of the themes. But Gegege no Kitaro is a very popular manga. It's been probably out since the 60s, maybe even before that. But yeah, really cool, kind of dark. Well, it's yokai. It's for kids, but it's a little bit, you know, for a kids show dark. Manga and anime, and they had some really crappy live-action movies a few years ago. Really like this series, and there are a lot of pretty cool games for Gegege no Kitaro. This game's pretty fun. It's kind of generic, but yeah, $1 for this, so happy about that. And all the other cart-only games were $1, so I was like, I have to pick them up. This is Bio Senshi Dan, which I think is also a Japanese exclusive game from Jalico. Cartridges look dirty, but who cares? It was $1. And here's, like I was talking about, Jalico games with a little screenshot, a little bit of controls too. But yeah, I mean, it's like a action platformer too, a little bit like Castlevania, Metroid-ish. Not nearly as good, but I had a little bit of fun with it, and I might go back to it and try to get a little bit further. But yeah, Bio Senshi Dan. If there are any fans out there, let me know. Let's see, got Dragon Quest II from Enix. There's really not much else to say for $1. Xevious for the Famicom, and this is, a lot of people would consider, I think, the first vertical scrolling shooter, shmup, whatever. I really love this game. I love the arcade version. The music, despite its repetitiveness, is, I don't know, just really catchy. And yeah, I think this, I think this one came out in the States, but I want to say Super Xevious, excuse me, the gold cartridge. I think that might have been a Japan exclusive. Not sure though. Feel free to correct me though. And then of course, Super Mario Brothers, the game that kind of started it all. Save video games. But I already have another copy of this, but it was $1, so if anybody needs it, or whether they want it or not, I'm sending it to them. But those are some cart games. As far as box games, I'll go ahead and grab these. These are all, well, except for maybe a couple of them, they were all $1 as well. So pretty happy to find this game for $1, which is Labyrinth, based on the, well, Labyrinth, the computer game, based on the Jim Henson film. And look at that. Look at that sexy David Bowie in the back. Rest in peace. But it is a action-adventure game. Very unusual, it's kind of got a bad reputation, but I had a lot of fun playing it. I never actually had a chance to play it before, with the manual and everything. I will say that if you are interested in this game, whether you're interested in this game or not, I highly recommend checking out a video by the late great Jew Wario on this game, and he does a little bit of this David Bowie, was he the Goblin King, I think his name is. I can't remember his actual name, but a little bit of cosplay in that, a little bit of little cameos in that. Great. I think for me, it was his best video. At least it's my favorite. He's probably got videos that are technically better, but go ahead and watch that and enjoy because it's great. But yeah, Labyrinth, $1 in the box. Got well, Dragon Quest 2 now. I got Dragon Quest 3 complete in box. It's also $1. Decent shape. It's kind of beat up, but I don't really care if it's in mint condition or not. Came with the manual. Came with the game. Got that Akira Toriyama artwork. Nothing spectacular. Also got Dragon Quest 4 for $1. I would say it's in box because it is unfortunately not complete. It's got of course, the inner box and the game itself, but no manual, just the registration. So, but I don't know. Maybe I'll send this off to somebody. But I was really glad to get these for $1 because they're super common games in Japan, but they're usually for complete in box $10-ish. But I always thought I could get this for $1, and I did. Got this weird game over here called Seikima 2 Akuma no Gyakushu, which is, I guess these guys are a heavy metal band from the 80s and all up till 1999, but a talento game, so a celebrity game, which there were quite a bit on the Famicom. But it's a platforming action, maybe kind of a puzzle game, and you play as one of these guys. Really, I don't know. I played it for a while. I was actually kind of having a lot of fun with it. And, CBS Sony. It was a 1986, so a pretty early Famicom game. Came with the manual as well. It's upside down, but yeah, the manual was like iron. It's really crisp and straight. But I was thinking maybe I would do something with this, but I'm pretty sure this has been covered to death. I mean, with this cover, it's sure to get a lot of attention, right? Let's see. Here's Bungling Bay or Raid on Bungling Bay, which I didn't know this before I bought it, but by Will Wright of SimCity, The Sims, not so much Spore fame. I believe this was his first game. Hudson Soft published this game in Japan, which they published a lot of, I think, Broderbund. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Broderbund, their games. Check out this! I got a secret members card for Yoko Minamino, or whoever this girl is. So, that's something you don't get in America. Some kid stuck that on the back of the box, must have a crush on her. But yeah, it's like the typical Hudson Soft early cartridge, and I think it came with a manual. Yeah, and there's a little manual. And yeah, I mean, it's like a strategy action game, top down. Nothing too special in my opinion. Let's see, I got this one over here, which is in frame. It's a Dokuganryuu Masamune, or the One-Eyed Dragon Masamune. It's a Namco strategy game, and that little clamshell case. Based in the Sengoku, or the Warring States period, and the main guy here is Masamune Date, who famous for that crescent moon Kabuto helmet of his. And actually, he's the guy who founded the city I live in currently. So I thought hey, I get this because he's my boy, right? But also this game was $1, so I can't really go wrong with that. But I'm not a real big fan of these kind of strategy games, unless it's Shingen the Ruler, because that game is awesome. But this, I tried to play it for a little bit, but it was kind of boring, so I don't think I'll be playing it very much in the future. Don't quote me though. Let's see. Got this over here. This is Kujakuo, which is the Peacock King. It's based on an anime and probably a manga too. But actually had a VHS tape of this back in the day my mom bought me. And little did she know that even though on the cover it's pretty apparent, because this was the same cover as the VHS I had, some titty action in the movie, and that was one of those tapes where I was like, oh, better make sure my mom doesn't catch me watching this. You know, it's for after school viewing only when no one's home. But this is a text kind of, well, not text and graphic adventure, old school adventure game, but on the Famicom, and quite honestly, it's very boring. There's a pretty cool Kujakuo 2 game for the Mega Drive, which got released as something in America. They just kind of changed the name, and you know, for licensing reasons probably, and just no one knows what the hell this is. That game's pretty cool. This game kind of is boring. So, but I got this for like $3. Complete in box Famicom, that's a good price. I also got the Famicom Jump Eiyu Retsuden, which is like I said, 20th anniversary of the Jump serial manga magazine, which if you look at the cover, a lot of really famous characters like Son Goku from Dragon Ball, there's Kinnikuman, there's Kenshiro from Hokuto no Ken, Arale-chan, right? A lot of really famous characters. Now I think it's been overtaken by like what, One Piece and Naruto, those kind of mangas. But yeah, back in the day, these were the characters. But yeah, it's a action RPG where you play as little kids sucked into the world of Jump, and you gotta collect heroes. I haven't played it long enough to really know what's going on, but I think you have to recruit heroes and probably just save the world or whatever. But really kind of cool, big cartridge and big manual. And I actually already have a copy of this. This was like $2, but I figured, you know, if somebody I know who likes RPGs would like this, I'll just send it his way. His or her. And let's see. Another old Famicom box thing, but this is a little bit different. This is the Family Computer Family Basic Wakaru. So a book to basically help you understand the Family Basic software, which lets you program games. Which the store that was selling this, I bought this for $2, but the store that was selling this also had this little Family Basic cart, but they didn't have the keyboard, which, you know, I've seen here and there for pretty cheap. But I probably should have picked this up, but I figure I'll get it another time. But basically, it's got like tips for programming in a little book, but it also has like strategies for Load Runner, Nuts and Milk, and Yoninuchi. It's like a mahjong game. So let me just look at the book first. So the first parts are all color, Nuts and Milk action. Insert inappropriate joke here, but a little bit of that. But what's cool is, like, for programming, they kind of teach you through manga, which, you know, is something that is quite often used in Japan to teach people about things. But yeah, pretty cool. And what also came with it was a cassette. So a little cassette player. It's got 10 fun programs and game programs. A little cassette that you could use with an adapter. And I'm guessing you just play the games. And I don't know if you can modify them or not. I'm not that knowledgeable on the Family Basic system, but that was pretty cool. From Hudson Soft too. That's why those like Hudson published games here in Japan were featured. Let's see. I got this over here, the little Famicom disc game, Kiki Kaikai, which is the first game in what is known as the Pocky and Rocky series outside of Japan. This is just for the Family Disc system, and there you go, side A, side B. Unfortunately, I can't test this out to see if it works. This is $1 as well, so I was like, well, I might as well get it, right? I have the PC Engine version, which is pretty good. I'm hoping to get the MSX2 version. But I did get this. Move this out of the way. Goodbye. Alright. Family Disk System, complete in box. Really great shape. I paid more than I would have wanted to for this, but it came with the box and everything complete. And it's in pretty decent shape. But yep, Family Disk System. Here's the adapter. You stick this into the Famicom's little cartridge slot. Plug this into the system. Ooh, that's noise, right? But came with a little thing to keep it in place. Yeah, really great shape. Battery port. I have an extra AC adapter, so I can always use that. And yeah, so really great. But if you know anything about the Famicom disk system, that the belts, after time, they would just kind of erode and kind of just become disgusting and gunky, and just, you know, if you don't have a working belt in these kind of systems, you can't play the games, and this is no exception. So I can't use this yet, but I can buy a replacement belt and replace it, which is very, very easy to do with this system in particular. I've done it before, and I'll do that whenever I go online and stop being lazy. But yeah, hopefully I can get this running, because I have quite a few Famicom disc games that I would really like to try out. And yeah, having this complete in the box though is kind of, that was kind of the gimmick. That's why I got it, because these are a dime a dozen in Japan, junk ones anyway. This out of the way. And well, this is Famicom related, so I'll just throw this in here too. But this is the Konami Famicom Music Memorial Best Volume 1 with Moro Twin B, Gradius 2, Biomiracle Bokute Uppa, and Getsufu Maden, which, if you are a regular viewer of this channel, you know that is my favorite Famicom game, and I did a video on it, when, last year and a half ago maybe. But a great game, so I really wanted to get this because it's not every day you see a CD with Getsufu Maden music on it. But unfortunately, this is pretty pricey. It's pretty hard to find. This is back in the day. This was 1,500 yen, I believe. Yeah, there you go, about 1,400 yen. And like with today's money, that would be like 15 bucks. But this cost me more than all those games I just showed you combined, and then some. So music CDs are pretty pricey, but I love kind of collecting them and listening to them on a CD player. I'm an old man, but I have quite a bit of music CDs, and something I really like to collect, despite the price. But I would like to do a video on them someday, maybe like my 10 best music soundtracks. I don't want to become a list channel, but maybe like 10 best CD artwork. I don't know, if anyone's interested in that kind of stuff, let me know, and I can do like a collection video or something like that. But yeah, unfortunately this doesn't have the whole soundtrack, so it only had like three tracks. They didn't list it in the back. If I had known that, I probably would have passed on it because of the price. But if you do want to listen to the soundtrack, check out Nico the Wee Guy, 8-bit stereo, whole soundtrack, and it actually sounds, I think, better than this CDs. So I'll put that over here. Let's see, one more thing I got for the Famicom, and I haven't opened this yet, so I figured I'd just do it here. Let me move these games out of the way. I got one of these. So the Nintendo Classic Mini Family Computer, which is the equivalent of the classic NES Classic Mini. I don't know what it's officially called outside of in other countries, but this is the HDMI emulation machine, whatever, with 30 games. But this is the Japanese one, obviously. Here are the 30 titles, which a lot of them are the same as the classic NES Mini. But there are a few notable differences, which obviously I think like Mystery of Atlantis, Atlantis no Nazo, and the Kunio-kun games here. What is really in the same? Final Fantasy 3 is in here. So a few differences, so take a look at that if you know there. I'm sure ER Kung Fu is probably not in there either. But yeah, I haven't actually opened it up yet, so I figured I'd open it up now. But before I do that, I prepared a little comparison thing. And this is not something I picked up recently, but this was less than the price of the Mini. But here's the original Famicom in the box, and here's the Famicom Mini. So little comparison, the size and everything. Slide over there. So kind of cool. Let me open this up first. Ooh, it's a limited edition yellow Famicom. Great shape, but unfortunately these things just yellow, right? So I'll just take this out as a comparison. Here. And now I'm going to open this up for the first time. So, let's grab this. Okay. Cardboard here. Oh, so exciting, unboxing. Alright. So we'll go registration. And here it is. Oh, it's so white compared to the, the yellow Famicom. Okay, looks like there's some HDMI cables. My god, this is so tiny. Look at those controllers. It's baby controllers. Okay. Pull it out. And voila. Alright, there it is. So, there's the Famicom. What was it? Nintendo Classic Mini Famicom. And the original Famicom. So here's a size difference. Take a look at the consoles. Pretty accurate representation. And controllers, I really like controllers. They're looking very good. So very tiny. The D-pad is smaller, the buttons are smaller. Everything's smaller about it. It's pretty cute. So, alright, that's pretty cool. I've not played it, obviously, so I'm looking forward to giving it a try and seeing what they have here. I kind of wanted this because it's hard to find Akumajo Dracula, Famicom Disk System games. Zelda and Dracula, these were eventually released on cartridge in Japan. I know this was like probably one of the last releases for the Famicom in Japan. Zelda 2 and Metroid were only on the disc in Japan, and this game in particular is just hard to find. Not the Famicom Disk System version, but the cart. And it's usually like even loose, like I see it for like $100, which is crazy. But yeah, it'd be nice to play that sometime. And it's cool just to have this. One thing that Japan also got that other places didn't get is, oh yeah, it's a box. Right, it's the classic box Mini from Columbus Circle, I think it's called. It's a third-party company, but it's a little box for you to put your Famicom Mini on, and there you go. And this will open up, and you can put your cables and all that stuff in it when you're not using it. So. Whatever. I thought it was kind of cool. It's neat to have a little accessory. I'm probably just going to use this as a display anyway. But, yeah. Classic box Mini. I know you guys are all jealous. But there's that. Let's see. As far as old stuff. What other old stuff do I have? I got this. Which was like $2. And this is for the PC Engine. Now we got a little 1-2 button run select. This is a Pachinko controller. So there's one just like it that was released for the Famicom. This is from Coconuts Japan, and I believe this was a packing game for this was Pachinko-kun, which you guys all know I love Pachinko. You've seen, well, maybe some of you have seen my 35-minute long love letter to Pachinko, and Pachinko-kun, or Pachinko-kun, whatever, he is the rock star of the Pachinko world, and now I have this controller to get that thrill, get that rush of the Pachinko experience at home on my PC Engine. So, yeah, a piece of junk, pretty stupid. I guess you could use it as a regular controller. That's cool. But I might get the Pachinko-kun game. It's kind of expensive for some reason. Every time I see it, it's like $10, which I'm not paying $10 for Pachinko-kun. But yeah, Pachinko controller. You know, everybody needs a Pachinko controller. If you're a fan of Konami. Let's see, what else do I have? I guess I'll go into Super Famicom stuff. Actually, no, here you go. Stupid me. I got this Dr. Slump, so talked about Famicom Jump. Maybe that's in earlier, but this is Dr. Slump Arale-chan, a LCD game. I've had my eye on this for a while, and I finally jumped on it because the price was reduced a little bit for Christmas. But little old school LCD game starring Akira Toriyama's character, Dr. Slump. Here's what it looks like, and what's funny is like they have this manual over here, right? But before I even look at the game, look at the manual. Got like instructions, but it's like a completely different setup. This also has something I really like is high scores, and the person who was the previous owner is he wrote all these high scores, and obviously a little kid. I'm a grown-ass man playing with some kids' old toys, but whatever. Who isn't, right? But yeah, I guess I'll just pop this in. Kind of a weird little game. It goes like that. I'm not like the biggest Dr. Slump fan in the world. I don't really know too much about it, but alright, there you go. Let's see if I can do game 1. Well, that's showing up okay. I'll just play it for a little bit. You move left and right and you throw little poops. And you dodge these arrows from this guy. Can't really see what I'm doing because I'm looking through the camera, but I was playing it a little bit and I got a pretty high score. I think I beat the people in the manual, so I don't know. I did a video on Goemon Ebisumaru Kiki Patsu recently, and that's a Goemon LCD game, and pretty cool. I think I'm gonna collect these LCD games from now on, but I'll just pop that over here. But yeah, every time I see one of these, I got a few now. I kind of have an interest in them. It's kind of something that you don't really see too often these days. Beats the Tiger Electronics ones. Alright, so let's do Super Famicom. Grab the stack. Stack over here. And stack over here. It's hard to maneuver. Alright, so first thing I'll take a look at is Mother 2, known as Earthbound. Nothing really special to say here, other than just like here's the box. I already have a copy of this, so I'll probably be sending this Super Derek's way whenever he gets around to buying another Hoppa box for me, a box full of cool game stuff, which I think I've sent out like 5 to that guy, and he's probably only posted pictures of it once, never done the unboxing. You stick out your neck for somebody, and that's how they treat you. But this was $10, so you know, completed box Earthbound is quite a bit cheaper, quite a different game in Japan than it is everywhere else. I'll just throw that over here for now. These two games over here, Super Chinese World 1 and 2, and if you look at these characters, you'll know these as the Super Chinese guys in the Super Chinese series, but Kung Fu Heroes, I think is the NES game's names. Those are action games, but these are action RPGs. And if you look on the back of the box, you'll see, oh, it looks pretty fun, looks pretty colorful. Oh, it looks pretty kick-ass, actually. But, it's not very kick-ass, unfortunately. Very choppy, poorly programmed, very boring. I mean, it's just it's a very big letdown. Because I was really looking forward to these. I've had my eyes on these for a few years. The first one is pretty awful. The second one, it looks nicer, but the gameplay hasn't really improved much. It's just poorly programmed. So I haven't played these for very long, no more than, I don't know, like 20 minutes each, but I was not impressed. And I don't think I'm going to go back to them anytime soon. So no recommendation. Let's see, I got Bomberman Beat-A-Mom, which Beat-A-Mom, I believe, are these little toys that kids have. I have a few of them, actually. I got like a Ninja Turtles one and a Bomberman one. This was supposed to come with a figure, but as you see, it didn't come with it. I already have the game, and it came with a figure, but I didn't have the little cardboard inner box to keep it in place, so I kind of got this again, so I can have the cardboard inner box, and I'll just give the game to somebody else. But, kind of a stupid reason to buy it, but, let me see if I can open this. Oh, it's taped in on that side. But, yeah, it's got Bomberman themes, because I guess there were toys with it. You use one of the toys in the game. Here's the manual. And, cool. Here's the cartridge. you play as one of the toys, and you just kind of shoot little marbles at things, and you gotta make bombs blow up. And so it's kind of like a kind of a puzzle game, really. Kind of fun, good distraction for a little bit. But yeah. I also got Tetris Battle Gaiden, which is a pretty cool game. I want to say that Joe Walker over at Space Kappa, formerly the Backlog, did a video on this quite a while ago, and it's a pretty beloved game. I got this for like $8. But yeah, fun Tetris game. Something I want to put a little bit more time into. If you're interested in that, go check out that video by Space Kappa. But if he didn't do a video on it, then my apologies, and I'll just direct you to something else. And this is Heracles no Eiko, or the Glory of Hercules, and this is This is a series of games in Japan. I think it started on the Famicom, continued all the way up until like the DS, but basically like Dragon Quest with Greek mythology. I was really impressed by the intro to this game. It was kind of graphically impressive and artistically impressive. I didn't really start it up and play it. I just played somebody's old continue file. And, yeah, like I said, Dragon Quest with Greek mythology. So kind of a cool mix. Let's see. I got Super Bomberman, which is the first Bomberman for the Super Famicom, as far as I know. Not a huge Bomberman fan, but for some reason I can't stop collecting these games. I just like the character Bomberman. But now that I have this, I have every single Super Bomberman game, 1 through 5. 1 through 3 boxed and complete, and 4 and 5 I think I have the manuals for bigger boxes. But yeah, this would be a fun game to play with a friend, but one player is kind of boring. Here is a fighting game, Gouketsuji Ichizoku. Oh my god, let me try that again. Gouketsuji Ichizoku, which is a fighting game from Atlas, and what's it called? Power Instinct in regions outside of Japan. Really, game is actually pretty competent for Super Famicom port. I know the Mega Drive port is really expensive. I would like to get that. But I have the second game for the PlayStation, and it's a good game, even though the port is terrible. This game was really fun. I had a lot of fun with this, and I like this series because there's a lot of humor that was kind of lacking in fighting games at the time, and it's a pretty competent game. I did a video on PuLiRuLa Daisakusen, Princess Clara, Grand Battle Plan, and the character from the second game in this series is the main star in that game, the heroine. And that's a cool little shooting game, so if you haven't seen that, cheap plug. Alright. And Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which growing up I loved this game for the Super Nintendo. Never realized how easy it was on the Super Nintendo compared to the arcade until I got Xbox Live Arcade and got my ass kicked over and over again. But yeah, great game. I actually already have a copy of this, but a lot of my games, I think I got tons of games that I have still in America. I brought most of my import games with me, but to Japan where they're not imports anymore. But I left this back because I figured I'd just get it again for cheap, and I did. Let's see, Olivia's Mystery, which is a puzzle game from Altron. Is it Altron? This is called Altron. Yeah, so Altron, even though I always get confused by this mark, I keep thinking it's like Valtron or Avaltron. Olivia's Mystery is a puzzle game where you move pictures, like tiles, and create a big picture. But the thing is, like, all the tiles are moving, and it's pretty hard to kind of gauge what a picture will be, especially later on. There's the manual and the cartridge. Yeah, apparently, like, the better you do, there's like multiple endings. The better you do, the better the ending is, or change, whatever. You can flip the pieces, reverse the order. But what I thought was interesting about this game is, I think it's water, that here's the Japanese in the manual, but the other half of the manual is all in English. So I don't really know if this was because it was released in Asia for people who are like servicemen or something like that, but I thought it was kind of interesting. In the game itself, there's no English, but at least not for the story. But everything else here, half the manual is in English. Not that it really needs much instruction, but yeah, interesting game. I played it for quite a while, and I was having a lot of fun with it. If I ever do a puzzle games episode, which I've been planning for years, I might talk about that one. And finally for Super Famicom stuff is Mickey Mania and Timeless Adventures of Mickey Mouse. Distributed by Capcom, but not developed by them. The Mickey's Magical Quest games are great on the Super Famicom, Super Nintendo. I never played this game. I grew up with Mickey's Magical Quest 1 and 2. Got 3 recently for $1 for the box, which is pretty sweet. But I was wondering about this game because I always heard that it was kind of, not liked. Because the Magical Quest games are very well liked. And I played this, I was like, oh, the graphics are really nice. That's all I can say for it. It's pretty, in my opinion, pretty bad game. So, Mickey Mania. Alright, so those are Super Famicom games. Let me move these out of the way. I guess I'll just talk about this. I got this. This was kind of one of my bigger purchases. What was this? Virtual Boy. So not just the controller. I got the headset. Okay, VR is a real popular thing. This is old school VR. Really great shape, I thought. And of course, not just those things. So you got the AC adapter. Came with it. And let's see if this will fit in the whole frame. Good enough. I got the box and the manual and the stand and everything. And I was able to find this. I've had my eyes on this for quite a long time at this one store. And finally just went ahead and bit the bullet and got it. It was about $100 complete in box. So I thought that was a pretty decent deal for something like this. The person I was with when I bought it was like, why are you buying this? Because I thought it was like a failed system. But, I'm interested in that kind of stuff. But yeah, the stand, manual and everything. But yeah, the Virtual Boy. This is something I never had a chance to play when I was a kid. And I remember it shocking seeing like a system like this fail so horribly. It was so bad that they took it out of the glass display screens at these game stores and they just had them out in the regular old toy section because they just wanted to get rid of them so badly and they were so cheap. But I had a chance to play a game on this because it didn't come with any games. But I did buy possibly the best game for the system, Jack Brothers from Atlas. You play as Jack Frost and some of his friends, and this game is pretty awesome. And I'll just pop it in over here. But yeah, it's kind of an overhead shooter. And I was really impressed with the 3D in it and just the gameplay. So this is my first experience with the Virtual Boy, and so far it's kind of awesome. You just kind of turn it on here. Maybe you can see it, maybe not. Oh, there you go. There you go, Virtual Boy. There you go, Atlas. I don't know how well that's being picked up, but if you can barely see it, my apologies. Jack Bros. Yeah, hit start. Let's play as Jack. Alright, skip that story stuff. Alright, first dungeon. I actually got to like the last dungeon. It's a really fun game, but it gets really difficult at the end. Okay, talking. Alright. Try to do this with one hand. Yeah, you just kind of shoot stuff out. And you got little monsters. And you go deeper and deeper into these dungeons. And you lose time, I think, if you get hurt. And if you run out of time, it's game over. But yeah, that's basically the whole game. Yep, got that. I mean, just kind of see the 3D effect. I don't know why they don't release these games on the 3DS. guess I missed a key somewhere. Oh, there you go. And you have to just jump down and you do all the levels, and there are a lot of cool monster enemies. But I think that's enough of that. But yeah, Virtual Boy. Pretty damn cool. Jack Bros, I didn't get the box, but it came with the manual and the registration card. And, you know, these games are super cheap here in Japan, and I'll probably go to Akihabara and just buy all the games, because I don't think there's quite many. I don't think there's a lot of games for the Virtual Boy, so I can probably get the whole set of games pretty quickly. But yeah, really enjoyed it. But I see what they mean about the headaches, because after playing this game for a little bit, taking off those glasses, taking off that headset was just a nightmare. Giving me weird dizzy feelings. Yeah, so that's the Virtual Boy.
3次元映像を実現。2つのミラースキャン LED ディスプレイ。ステレオサウンド。任天堂の開発した十字ボタンが2つに増えた新しいグリップコントローラー。
Okay, so now I'll take a look at some PlayStation games that I got. And, well, before I look at the games, I'll just show these. Got a PlayStation memory card. So, real gem of a find here. You know, it's not obviously I'm just joking, but it's kind of cool to find. I like to find accessories in like their original boxes, and I have quite a bit of stuff from Sony and from other companies. But I thought it was kind of cool that it came with this little plastic case as well. What's sad is I paid $2 for this, which was more than most of the games I'm showing in this video. But yeah, Sony memory card in a little box, cute little thing. And over here, we have the Pocket Station, which was the little VMU ripoff that Sony made in response to the Dreamcast VMU. Yeah, great shape. I think these were imported a lot back in the day, at least for people in America, because of Final Fantasy VIII. I think there's like a Chocobo raising mini game in it, and a lot of people imported this just to use it for that. But tons of games use the Pocket Station for support. Let's pop it up, open over here. I already have one of these, but you know I have like a clear one. And how do you open this thing up? Apparently, there you go. Oh, buttons in here, but that's how you insert the memory card in. Yeah, just basically like a VMU. I don't think it beeps every time you turn it on. The battery's dead though, so it's got that going for it. I have a few Pocket Station games that I would like to do a video on someday, but I don't know. It seems like it's kind of more of a pain than it's worth. But a couple memory cards there. Here's a few not very incredible finds, but Gundam the Battle Master, which is a pretty cool 2D fighting game for the PlayStation. Again, I guess the case is broken, but I paid $1 for this, so you get what you pay for. But a pretty cool like 2D fighting game. I think it was the Gundam Battle Assault series. This is where it started, and I believe this one did not leave Japan, but the other ones did, or at least a couple of them did. But really cool, big sprites, different from a lot of the fighting games that most people are used to, because you're very slow moving, very methodical kind of fights. I guess all fighting games are methodical. Not a big fighting game fan, so I don't really know the terms, so noob here. But yeah, cool game. For $1 too, you can't really beat that, right? Dragon Ball Final Bout, I think it's called Dragon Ball GT Final Bout outside of Japan. But this is a 3D Dragon Ball fighting game. I have a lot of memories with this. It's part of the reason why I hated fighting games for so long. But I have fond memories of this. Pretty terrible game. Pretty awful game. I was always pissed because this came out in America and the Sailor Moon fighting game didn't. I was like, oh, that's BS, Why didn't the Sailor Moon game come out? This crappy Dragon Ball game came out instead. Little did I know that Sailor Moon fighting game is terrible. I found out years later when I finally got it, but this is way better than that Sailor Moon game. And I mean, at least in this game you can play as Pod. That's cool. But a lot of great junior high school memories of this. So that was $1 too. So $1. This is also $1. This is Battle Arena Toshinden 2 or Toshinden 2. The sequel to the game that little spine card, propped up the PlayStation, at least in North America. Like, people don't really give it as much credit as it should get, in my opinion, but the first Battle Arena Toshinden was really what kind of made the PlayStation in North America, at least in the beginning. It was a really popular game, and a lot of people bought the system just to play that. But this is the sequel, and the reason I bought this was because I have the first one and the third one. I just needed the second one. This was in good shape, and it came with the spine card for $1. That's all I really care about. But great series. I guess it hasn't aged as well as most fighting games, but whatever. And this is Psychic Force 2, a Taito fighting game, another 3D fighting game. I can't remember the exact title, but Psychic Force on the Dreamcast was a fairly popular game, at least in the States. Might have been a launch title, maybe close to the launch. But I have the first Psychic Force for PlayStation, and I just needed this to kind of round out my set. I think I have all the Psychic Force games now. But pretty decent game, and I love the art style. So, even though I don't like fighting games. And this is Samurai Showdown, Warriors Rage Chicken. But a 3D Samurai Spirits Samurai Showdown game. Not a terrible game, but not really like the 2D games, and kind of easy. Graphics were pretty decent though. But this was $2, so $2. Good for the collection. Other PlayStation 1 games I got were Treasure Gear, which I've had my eye on this for a while as well, just because I kind of like the style of these characters, I like this cover. Oh god, look at those graphics. So it's really terribly... The graphics suck, the gameplay is repetitive, the story is basically non-existent and cheesy, there are no like memorable characters. But this is one of those roguelike dungeon crawling games, kind of like the Shiren the Wanderer series, or one of my favorite games on the PlayStation, which is Azure Dreams. Very similar to that, where you move, and when you move, it's like everything else on the screen moves, but if you don't do any sort of actions, everything's paused. But yeah, you go into dungeons and you just complete the dungeons, you go back, your level resets, you go back into town. What's cool about this is you can select to play as the girl or the guy, you can choose their names, and basically they're like lovers, and you gotta, one's in a horrible accident in the beginning, and you gotta find a way to save them. I'm gonna assume it's like, something about saving the world later on, but yeah, even though it has terrible graphics, those shitty PS1 polygons, it's got an okay soundtrack, I guess. The gameplay is super repetitive, it's nothing spectacular. Like I said, story is non-existent. I had a lot of fun with this, I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna play this for like maybe 20 minutes just to get some gameplay footage, and I ended up playing it for 2 hours. 20 hours, that'd be crazy. And I kind of want to do a video on this, but there's nothing really I could say other than it's addicting. Yeah, Treasure Gear from Miraisoft. Would have been so much nicer with 2D graphics. But yeah, alright, next one. We got this little thing. Oh, look at that. It's pretty thick. Kind of, some Chinese over there. All kinds of Chinese. But this is Kowloon's Gate, or Kuron's Gate, I guess in Japanese. Kuron's Gate, yeah. Yeah, Kowloon's Gate is a FMV, not really FMV, it's like an adventure game, kind of like Myst, but with weird East Asian mystical themes, kind of like a gothic sci-fi vibe almost. But I played it for a little bit, and apparently the Kowloon Yard, Kowloon, the infamous Hong Kong walled city, which if you don't know about that, it's amazing. Just look at it. It's just such an interesting part of history. But the walled city, if you play Shenmue 2, you're probably pretty familiar with it. But it got torn down, I think in the 90s. But it came back because of an imbalance with the yin and yang, and I don't know, something like that. I didn't play it too much, but I really dig the style, and I think I want to do a video on this. But this game never came out in Europe or North America. But in Japan, there's quite a following. This is kind of looked back on as with a lot of fond memories by Japanese folks, from what I understand. This is the limited edition box, so it came with this little booklet, a hardbound. Kind of gives me working design memories, I guess, kind of nostalgic for working design stuff. But well, a lot of look at that freaky image. Kind of like just looking at the images, it kind of reminds me of like an Asian Silent Hill. You know, Silent Hill is made in Japan, but you know, I think you know what I mean. But yeah, it's just like pretty cool. Like it's unfortunately it's like an adventure game with a lot of FMVs. It's 4 discs, so it is a bit slow. But I think I'm gonna give this one an actual try and see if I want to do a video on it. But there's Katamari's Gate, and I think this is the second to the last PS1 game I got. Planet Laika from Enix. It's kind of a weird old retro spaceship cover. The back, good. Look at that hideous Dogman face. But this is an Enix game, and this is kind of an interesting title. I'll put it that way. Interesting title because this, I don't know if it's, oh there you go. I don't know if you can read the Japanese, but Zeku Quintet Enix 1999. So Quintet, who is known for the Soul Blazer series, so Illusion of Gaia, Terranigma, Soul Blazer, Grand Stream Saga, which I did a collaboration with Super Derek on that. You should check it out right here. But yeah, Quintet, amazing developer, kind of fell off the map. Shade did Grand Stream Saga, correct myself. But they did the programming for this game, and I think the music. And Zeku, which is like, what the hell is Zeku, right? Zeku is responsible for Katamari's Gate. And they did the art direction and I think the cinemas and all that kind of stuff. So it was a collaborative effort. This game is weird. This game is bizarre. It has cool graphics, the 3D polygons with the kind of pre-rendered sprites, something that's real famous on the PlayStation 1. But it's just a bizarre, you go to Mars, you're investigating this guy who's a leader or some sort of thing. Split personalities. It's kind of a weird psychological thriller. The dialogue is hard to kind of follow, but I think it's meant to be hard to follow. Kind of reminds like a David Lynch kind of weird vibe. Anyway, I might put some more time into it. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Maybe I'll just add it to my Weird and Whimsical PS1 games special, which is coming to a YouTube near no one. But you know, weird game, but kind of interesting history. I think this might be the last game that Quintet worked on. But shame too. It's very, very good memories with that company. Let's see. Oh, the last PS1 thing I got. Move this out of the way. It's a big thing. Is Tales of Eternia. The box. The premium box. So, Tales of Eternia, I think it's called Tales of Destiny 2 in America, which was a stupid idea because on PS2 there is an actual Tales of Destiny 2, which I don't think ever came out in the States or Europe or anywhere. But this is the premium box. Right before opening up, this little orange over there, I paid $5 for this thing. And I've actually kind of wanted this for a while. And actually I did buy it once, and instead of getting this box, they just sent me the game. You know, it was like, oh, this is the Tales of Eternia premium box. Just got the game. But yeah, let's just open it up now. $5 for this. This is the days before Namco was pumping out those Tales games like they were Madden, NFL. Insert cheesy graphic I used in my last video here. But yeah, here you go. This comes with this little clock. So this little guy in the game, I don't know his name. And check this out. I mean, it's still got the batteries. Take a look at that. It's got a little booklet, like an art book or whatever in the back. Some little character straps. So, isn't that cute? Isn't that sweet? And of course the game. So, 3 discs. Yeah, nice artwork. So I'm not paying attention to my camera at the moment, so hopefully you got to see that. But yeah, $5. That's the kind of stuff. Not really a surprising thing too, because I find a lot of great deals like this in Japan. So if you guys ever want to go game hunting, let me know and let's hit up those book offs. I will make all of your dreams come true. Not really. Only the ones that involve BDSM. these Sakura Wars limited edition boxes, A-type and B-type. These were $2 a piece, and I think one of them is brand new. I think somebody just sold all of their collector's boxes one day, but it comes with the game. Let's see, this is the one that's, I think, still sealed. Some stickers, a mouse pad, and a Sega Saturn shuttle mouse, I think that's what it's called. There you go. It's a little mouse, so you can play this game or a lot of other games that use the mouse for the Sega Saturn, including the Tokimeki Memorial games. But yeah, I thought, like, you know, for $2, of course I'm gonna get these things for $2. And then this was just the same thing, but with a different mouse pad. So that was cool. And let's see. And like I said, this is Sega Saturn related, so I'll just go ahead and show it. But this is a Nights into Dreams eye mask. Yeah, brand new. I just got this from a store called the G Store, which they have a lot of cool. It's mostly like anime stuff, which I'm not interested in, like cosplay stuff. But they have a lot of cool video game merchandise, like officially licensed things. And, you know, it's not really often you come across Nights merchandise, so I figured I'd get this. And, well, now I got a little nice eye mask for some kinky foreplay. Who am I joking? I'm not going to be using this for kinky foreplay. I'm going to keep it complete and sealed forever. I'll try to do some kinky foreplay, I promise you guys. But yeah, let's see, next. Something that's not too exciting, but N64 things. I have a really big collection of N64 stuff now here in Japan, and pretty much everything I want for it I have. There's a few big titles I still need, but pretty much every first-party game I've got under lockdown. So I'm just picking up kind of weirder games that I kind of have an interest in. So first is Hiryu no Ken Tsui, or Hiryu no Ken Twin, Flying Dragon Fist Twin. This was actually released internationally as, I think, just Flying Dragon. And this is from Culture Brain. So the people who also did those Super Chinese World games that I said sucked, they did this fighting game, and you can play as kind of a realistic character mode or like chibi characters, and not all the characters are the same either. But I remember renting this for N64 when I was a kid and hating it, but I played it and it was actually not bad. You know, so I think this is one of the better fighters for the N64. The graphics are pretty decent too, they're not super muddy. This game with the manual and everything. Ooh, that was loud. But there's like another one for the N64 that's a little bit pricey. This was like, gee, it was like $2. So there's another one that's like really a little more expensive, usually $20, but it has the characters from the Super Chinese or Kung Fu Heroes games, and I wouldn't mind getting that. That's kind of interesting. But there you go. Twin Dragon Fist Twin. Here's a Lode Runner 3D, and Lode Runner is a fine game and everything. This game is pretty god awful. Look at that. Even the graphics on the back of the box look terrible. But this is one of the muddiest, ugliest looking games I've ever seen on the N64. And that's saying a lot, because there are a lot of muddy, ugly games for the N64. I could barely make out what I was doing, and I was using S-Video with a FrameMeister. And look at this cover, though. I don't know what the cover looks like in other regions, but this is like some of the... Even when I was in high school using Photoshop knockoffs, I was drawing better pictures than this. So, to whoever drew this, if you're watching this, say sorry, man, but tell me how it is. That is just like... I don't know. What it was... whatever. Ugly box art. And then finally, this is... what is this? Chan-nan-chan no Hono no Challenger. Dengeki Ira-Ira Bo. So... You're basically, before there was Irritating Stick on the PlayStation 1, there was this game, which is Irritating Stick, based on a game show in Japan where you can win a lot of money. But yeah, it's, look at that little vibration action there. I actually already have this game, but I have a copy. It's in the States. So I just got this again. It was like $1.50. I thought maybe just to have it, if I never get my games back, I mean, so be it. I have this again, but maybe I'll just give this to somebody who might want it. But this game is irritating. It's if you've ever played Irritating Stick, you know how much this game is of annoyance. But something strangely addicting about it. And with that cover, I mean, you gotta have this in your N64 collection, right? Wrong. Sorry, it's a little bit cold in here, and I think I might be coming down with something. So if my voice is strange, I apologize. I also had a little bit to drink before this, so if I'm saying weird things or not making any sense, my apologies again. If I start screaming about how the water's turning the freaking frogs gay, then yeah, you know why. Alright, real quick, where is that thing? There you go. Game Boy Advance game, Rhythm Tengoku, or Rhythm Heaven, Rhythm Paradise. This is the first game in the series, Game Boy Advance. The other ones got released in the States. I don't know if the 3DS one did, but the DS one and I think it's Gold, and the Wii one, they're really fun games, but $3 box, it's pretty cheap. I know that Nico the Wii guy, I think this is his favorite game. Hopefully, like I was talking about a puzzle game episode earlier, hopefully I get around to doing a rhythm game episode, which I've also wanted to do for a few years, and I already have the games picked out, and maybe a collaboration on that. Alright, let's see. A little small game here. Clock Tower for the Wonder Swan, which Wonder Swan, a little system that could. Not a bad system at all. I haven't popped this in to play it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's completely fine. But this is not for the Wonder Swan color, just the regular black and white Wonder Swan. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say. Dreamcast games, I only got 2. I have a lot of Dreamcast games already, but this is July, which kind of a cool shiny cover. Maybe it's so shiny it's screwing up the camera. But July was a Dreamcast launch game. It's a graphic and text adventure game, and obviously didn't come out anywhere else. But I don't know. I think, what was the story? I think this guy named Makoto's mom died in a terrorist, or not, she didn't die, but she got injured in a terrorist bus explosion. This is in 1999, so July 1999. America invades the Middle East. A little bit of foreshadowing, but everybody knew that was going to happen. Kind of I don't know. I only played the first day of the game, and it wasn't too interesting, but I'm sure it picks up a little bit later on. I was actually impressed with the presentation from this for a launch title on the Dreamcast. And then here is Zombie Revenge, and this is kind of like a side story in the House of the Dead series. It's got the bad voice acting, got the zombies, plays like a beat 'em up, kind of a little bit like, what is it, Die Hard Arcade? What is that called in Japanese? Dynamite Deca, I think is what it's called, but a little bit like that, but less fast-paced. And I remember playing this in a Dreamcast demo a long time ago and not liking it. And I picked it up now, and I didn't like it just because the controls are hard to get used to, but I found out later you can change the controls, so I might play it again and change it, but not bad. Not bad. I wish it was a little bit more fast-paced, but I'm sure with a friend it's really fun. But 2 of those. Alright, just gotta change things up a little bit. Some videos. I got a VHS tape of Pokemon Ieru kana? Pokemon Kakeru kana? So I guess, can you say what that Pokemon is? Can you draw that Pokemon? It's a little VHS tape with, of course, Pikachu, a little crayon. Got some Pokemon cards, some funky art. This is obviously very cheap, $1. And I don't know, I haven't watched it yet. I have a VHS player, but it's not even in my closet, it's in my shoe case, because I have no space to put it. But I'll watch it sometime. I have a pretty nice video game VHS collection now. But there you go. I think this is a music video. So the Pokemon Ieru kana, maybe it's like the Pokemon rap. But there's more than just that. I guess there's a karaoke version of that. So I guess it is a song, but there's a bunch of other things. So I don't know. If anyone's interested, let me know, and I'll take a look at it. Maybe I'll do something on it. We can all dance to the Pokemon song. And here is a 3 DVD set of Final Fantasy The Adventure Bible. And this was published by Enterbrain and Famitsu DVD back in 2002. Originally retailed for 13,000 yen, which is with today's money, that's like about 120 bucks. But crazy, I didn't pay that much. I paid like 10 bucks for it. So 3-disc set covers Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 11. I don't know why that order is kind of messed up, so I can't see it. Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what these are they, at least I haven't watched the other ones. I've only watched Final Fantasy 6 because that's my favorite. But they have, well, how can I explain it? There's a little bit of a guide to the game. Like there's an explanation of what the game is and all that thing, but there's like a complete narrated story guide, which a guide talks about the story and major events in the story using gameplay, and it just kind of goes over the whole story. And I know it was like over a half an hour, so it's pretty long. It's pretty detailed. Like I said, I haven't watched the other ones, but I'm kind of interested in seeing, especially 7. Yeah, 7's probably the one that I really like out of here. 9 is okay too. But yeah, kind of a cool thing, and maybe I'll do a video. I got a lot of Final Fantasy collectibles, and I thought about doing collection videos, but I don't know if it's even worth doing. I don't know if anyone's interested. And I'll get these out of the way. But little figurines that I got for $1 each, and I collect a lot of little figures, and I got tons. Some of them are on display, but most of them are in the closet. First of all, just go with the Final Fantasy theme. I got these little Final Fantasy 6 keychains of Locke and Mash, but I think it's Sabin, as I grew up with. But yeah, a little $1, dirty over here. But got a Selly's one that I've had since I was in junior high school, so it'd be cool to add these in there. But yeah, $1 each. Always nice to find those kind of things. Got this little Joker from The Dark Knight, kind of pretty detailed, kind of like that. This little calling card and his grenades. Great scene from that movie. Yeah, really detailed. That was $1. I said always $1. Here's Tetsuo from Akira, one of these little minifigurines. This grotesque, disgusting, morphing into an abomination because he can't control his power. There you go. There's a little focus on his face. Look at that. All that emotion in that one shot. Here's Tetsujin 28, which I think is called Gigantor in other places, but yeah, a little minifigure for this. I'd love to do a video on the PlayStation 2 game, which is awesome, but I just haven't really been motivated. Oh my god, what happened? No, who cares? Got this Rosalina, her arm fell off. A little Mario sports figurine from Furuta, the little Choco eggs, which they have so many different series now, but they do a lot of like Mario. I've been doing it for years, but Mario figurines in chocolate eggs. And I just kind of got this at a grocery store on a whim, and this is the character I wanted. Her name is Rosetta in Japan, but I was thinking like, yeah, if I get any characters I want, probably her. So I'm gonna get that. And then this little Mario here, which is a keychain, obviously, but doesn't seem to be very special. It's just Mario. But look on the bottom. You're able to see it. Got 95 Nintendo Square character. So Nintendo Square. So this is a Mario RPG keychain. And the store I went to, they had so many just random figures on racks and everything. But I saw this and I was like, oh, interesting. They didn't have anybody else. I would have liked to have like Peach or Bowser, Koopa, whatever. But Geno, whatever you call them, that would have been amazing. But Mario, it was $1. So just kind of cool to have a Mario RPG thing. I used to have a lot of like little Mario RPG candy toys, but I believe I sold all those like an idiot when I was younger. Let's see. Just about done. PlayStation 2. So, some interesting games from PS2. I got One-Chanpuru, which is the second game in the One-Chanpuru series, not One-Chanpuru 2, which I also have. But this is kind of like an updated version of the original, kind of a remix version. You get to play as this character here, which she is basically the mascot for the Simple series games. There's a lot of sexy games. Well, they're called the love games, love aerobics. love tennis, love ping pong, love upper, which is the boxing game. There's the Daibijin, which is the giant beautiful woman. It's all this character, so they added her into the game. This is Aya. This is I think this got released in Europe too. So this is a zombie action game, a lot of blood, a lot of sexiness. Guilty pleasure for me. I love the One-chan series. I'm missing maybe a couple now, but I plan on doing a video on a couple of these. But yeah, One-chan. Nothing more I can really say. It's sexy, it's got blood, it's got zombies. Here's a Sega Ages 2500 game for Hokuto no Ken, Fist of the North Star. This is so Simple Series 2000. They're called Simple Series 2000 because they were 2,000 yen, which is about $20. Sega Ages 2500 were 2,500 yen. And there's some incredible titles for the PS2 in this series. The first handful, so this is volume 11, I think up to maybe volume 14 or 15, were done by, I think, D3. There you go, 3D Ages, Sega D3. D3 handled these remakes of the game. So this has the original. This is based on a Mark III game, Hokuto no Ken, which is very similar to the Famicom game from when I played. And it has a little remake. So games like the Fantasy Star games, 1 and 2 anyway, Outrun, I want to say, a lot of those games. They got these kind of 3D updates, and a few of them were put into a compilation and released in America, the North American market, and European markets. A lot of those remakes are awful, like the Golden Axe one, like they're just terrible. Thankfully, this one, the remake is actually pretty kick-ass. This didn't get released outside of Japan as far as I know. And it also comes with the original game, and it's emulated very well. So, kind of a cool bonus. This was like $2, so I just needed it because I'm kind of collecting these. There you go. They also came with these little liner note things, and you could put them in a binder. They came with a special edition of Fantasy Star 1, which was Sega Ages 2500 Series Volume 1. And so I have that as well, so I have a nice little collection of these. Monster World Collection is a great one, but that was one of the later releases, so it doesn't have this. But yeah, hopefully I can find all these for cheap. A lot of them are really expensive now, like $60+. It's hard to find. Let's see. Talk about this one first. I got Operator's Side, known as, I think, Lifeline in other markets. But this is a game where you need to use the mic. And you have this girl, I think her name is Rio, and you have to guide her and have her fight monsters and things in space using your voice commands. So telling her to go left, going right, shoot, run away, those kind of things. And yeah, I always wanted to play this. I remember watching an old review on G4, if anybody is old enough to remember that train wreck. But I used to love G4, and I remember, was it Adam Sessler, those kind of guys? Was it Morgan Webb? That was that show. I can't remember. But they had a review show, and I remember them like just hating this game. I think it was Adam Sessler. But I was kind of intrigued. I was like, yeah, it looks like it has some problems. But finally got to play it, and I had a lot of fun. I actually bought this because I'm planning on doing an episode that's kind of related to voice commands. In Wing Wing. Hopefully it comes out and I don't just forget about it completely, which is possible. But yeah, I had fun with this. Like the voice commands, when they work, they're great. But when they don't work, it can be frustrating. But yeah, looking forward to playing it more. I did get another game which uses the mic, and this is called Yoake no Mariko. And this is a game that did not come out outside of Japan, and its cover looks terrible. Just kind of like, what is this 3D weird thing? Well, I've been interested in this game for quite a long time. Look at the side over there. Maybe you get a hint why. Let's play. This is a game where it's kind of like karaoke, where you have little lines on the screen. You have to kind of say them in tandem with like a little moving color. So basically, there's prompts on the screen, and you have to. You're a voice actor. You're actually voicing a character in like a play, and your volume, your accuracy, and the speed at which you deliver things are graded, and you can perform. There's like, here you go, horror stage, western stage, kung fu, comedy, Jidaigeki, which is like a Japanese samurai style thing, a musical. I played a few of them and had a lot of fun. The reason I was interested in this game is, well, for the upcoming video, which is related to this. I won't tell you what it is, maybe it'll be the next video I do. But I just looked at these characters and I thought, man, this really looks familiar. This looks like something from Ren and Stimpy. And I was like, what was that guy? John K. Spunko, the little company he formed after that. And I looked in the little manual over here. I was like, that looks just like something from out of Ren and Stimpy. And lo and behold, that yes, John K. and Spunko are responsible for the art and character design in this game. Even though this is a Japanese game developed by Japanese people, they did the art design, and it's really cool. And there's a lot of character intended to the game and all the characters. So yeah, and I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was super fun, super funny. But yeah, you'll hear about it more. I don't want to spoil too much. And I used to play these games. I didn't have a mic, so I got to play them because I have the Seaman controllers, which the Seaman games for PS2 came with these special controllers. And what's cool is on the back it even says you can use the ASCII Seaman mic controller, and it worked okay for this game. But for this game, like, it had a hard time picking up my volume. You can adjust the settings, but probably best to use a headset. Because I needed a headset, I picked up this gem, Dog Station, from Konami. So, I don't know, what would you guys rather have? Konami doing pachinko games or doing Dog Station? Okay, but this is like a Nintendogs ripoff. To be honest, I didn't play it because I was not interested. But it looks like a Nintendogs ripoff, but for PlayStation 2. But the reason I wanted this was because it came with a mic. It was $1 for the game and this little mic over here. And so I was like, oh sweet, a little mic. Unfortunately, the USB mic, you can see, oh, it looks okay from here, but yeah, see, it's got all that nasty kind of gunk. It's what happens with a lot of these sponge mics is that over time they just get destroyed. You know, they just erode, decay, whatever. They just break down. So I'll clean it up and I'll try to use it. But I was a little bit like, shouldn't have been shocked, but I was surprised. And finally, the last PlayStation 2 game that I did get is another box, a big box. And that is Xenosaga Episode 1. And this was $2. So, $2 for this. I tried to get into Xenosaga when I was younger, but it was just too slow for me. And I like Xenogears, and that was a slow game, at least with the dialogue. But at least I had a lot of good action. But yeah, Xenosaga Episode 1 box. I think every single Xenosaga got a pretty cool box in Japan. This came with the game, of course. I'm just kind of opening it up just to get it. Oh, there's a Shio Mizuki, I think her name is. Relation to Citan Mizuki from Xenogears, I believe. A little keychain. This little figure, which I've actually wanted to get this figure, so I'm glad it came with this box set. And a binder for some reason, and yeah, a little booklet. So I don't know, $2. It's just gonna take up space in my tiny apartment, at least in the closet in my tiny apartment. But how can you say no, right? $2. All right, almost through with this. All right, Xbox. Who doesn't like the Xbox? A lot of people, unfortunately. That's why it doesn't get a lot of coverage. Check out Dolly Popka, Xbox, Viridian Flashback. I've already shouted them out a million times, but I'll shout them out again. But these are some Xbox games I got. And the first one, Breakdown. Excellent game. One of my favorite games for the Xbox. One of my favorite first-person games. You play as this, well, it's pretty risque. I don't know what's all that white stuff coming down his head. What was he doing? But yeah. You get like kind of superpowers, and it's like a first-person shooter at first, but later on, like, you get this kind of creepy hand, and it's a lot of like melee fights, and really cool game. I think it's aged pretty well, not as well as it could have, but I played through the game a couple years ago, and have a complete playthrough. And I was wanting to do something with it, but I'm probably not going to. But I had an English copy of it, and I gave it to Jay Hicks, the Dolly Popka, so hopefully they'll cover it soon. At least I think I gave it to him. But yeah, Breakdown. Highly recommended. One of the gems on the Xbox. Dead to Rights. So this is Namco. This is Namco as well. I wouldn't say it's a third-person shooter, more of a third-person action game with guns. I guess that's a third-person shooter. But a pretty decent game. I couldn't get used to the camera playing it after all these years because it's, you know, it's reverse controls to what I'm used to. But not bad. Okay graphics, kind of generic though, to be honest. But you get to use your dog in the game, so that's kind of cool. Silent Hill 2, Restless Dreams. One of my favorite games for the Xbox. I didn't get this for PS2 originally, but I got it for the Xbox. And what was cool was, like, one, you got a little extra scenario with Maria, who's on the cover, and two, the graphics were highly improved over the PlayStation 2, especially if you turn off the grain filter. You can do it on the PlayStation 2 with like a code or something, or like I think one of the endings after you beat the game. And it looks funny, it doesn't look right, so you need to use the grain filter. For this, you can take off that filter immediately and it looks amazing. And yeah, Silent Hill 2 is my favorite Silent Hill game. I'm sure it's a lot of other people's favorite as well. This and Silent Hill 4 are the two I really like. I know a lot of people don't like 4, but yeah, this was like the first Silent Hill game that I played completely. Great game, get on the Xbox. I actually have this version for PlayStation 2 as well. In America, you'd have to get like the greatest hits version to get the extra stuff, but just get the Xbox one. And then finally, for the Xbox, Double Steel, Dreamcast Publishing Company. This is a not racing, but like a car driving action game set in Hong Kong, and it's called Reckless: The Yakuza Missions. I think it's the Yakuza Missions. They're just Reckless in America. I was blown away by this game when I first played it in like an official Xbox magazine demo. The graphics in this game were amazing. They use these really cheesy filters too for replays, but everything about it, like, I thought it was just amazing. And I know people don't like this game, but I was playing it for quite a while, and it was really fun. I got to one mission that pissed me off, but I was like, oh, I'll just play it another time. But I thought it was pretty good. I think there's a sequel to this too, so be on the lookout for that. But Double Steel, or Reckless, I believe. And I'm not gonna go over these like into too much detail because I haven't really played them at all. But some DS games. I can't record footage for these either, but these were all $2 each. So here's the Zombie Crisis, so Simple DS series, Volume 32. More expensive than the PS2 stuff, but Zombie Crisis. It's a first-person action game for the DS, and apparently it's really hard. I'll have to try it out sometime. I got 2 Starfy games. Yeah, I think these are the only 2 for the DS, but there are 3 on the Game Boy Advance, and now I think I have all the Starfy games. But really great, colorful, platforming action games. And if you like the Kirby series, you're going to love this. These are from Nintendo. I think only one, maybe it was this one, only one has ever been released, at least in America. I don't know about Europe. Jump Ultimate Stars, another Jump game, which I'm not really a big fan of Jump comics at all. I just realized this doesn't have a manual. Oh, that's too bad. But whatever. This is $2, so game. It's a fighting game. Jump Superstars was the one that came out before it. If you were a weeb in the early 2000s, that was your jam. And Crayon Shin-chan game. And I'm not going to really go over too much, but it's if you play the Super Famicom Crayon Shin-chans, it looks like you would like these. And I just like the Crayon Shin-chan character. I grew up with him. He's funny. I'm trying to get this done. Alrighty. Almost done, people. Here is Koei Game Music Works from Kano Yoko, or Yoko Kano collections. Yoko Kano, great composer, one of my favorites out of all time. You know, if she did mostly video game stuff, she'd probably be my favorite video game composer, but she's mostly known for like anime and commercials and stuff like that, and pop. But this was, yeah, Koei Game Music Works. All these lovely tracks here, and I want to say that, there you go, game music and easy listening category. And man, easy listening, I don't know if I would call this easy listening, but it's very easy on the ears. Just simply incredible music from games like the Uncharted Waters, I think it's called. Uncharted Waters 2, Nobunaga's Ambition series, Genghis Khan, basically games like that. So Koei's old strategy games for PC that got ported to like pretty much everything, Famicom, Super Famicom, etc, etc. But yeah, such a great collection of music, and I paid like $10 for this. Very well spent. I highly recommend anyone to listen to any of her music. I just did Napple Tale a few months ago on the Dreamcast. She did the soundtrack for that. Amazing music, one of the best soundtracks ever. Okay, well, that's just my opinion, but you know, it's right. And I was gonna talk about laser discs and stuff because I got a bunch of laser discs, but I'm gonna just say no. And I'm gonna go over a few books, and then we'll call it a video. If you guys are interested in seeing some laser discs, though, let me know because I have quite a bit of laser discs. Real quick, just some books. These range from like $1 to I think one was like $8 or something like that. But Dragon Quest 1 and 2 for Super Famicom guidebook. Nothing special, but I just wanted to show this real quick too. A lot of beautiful artwork, like Japanese guides. Not all, but a lot of them. They just have amazing artwork, pictures of items, monsters, promotional art. Just like look at that. All these stats. So you can just get lost, even if you can't read the language. You know, you can get lost in these guys just kind of looking at all the pictures. Really cool guide. This is the Final Fantasy VIII Memorial album. Wish you were here. Oh, you're so sweet. But I have the Final Fantasy VII Memorial album. I actually have two. I have one that's hardbound and one that's like this. But basically, it is the entire dialogue from the game. All in Japanese, of course. No English books like this exist, I think. But little scenes from the game and all the dialogue. So kind of a neat little thing, little cinema stuff. The Final Fantasy VII one is just like this. This was like $2. Tales of Destiny character collection. Not the biggest Tales fan, but I like Destiny and Fantasia and those games. This was like $1, so just same deal. It's kind of like a little bit of a world guidance here. Here you go, sketches, character art. Pretty cool. Poster in there too. Hardbound. Alright, this is the Natsukashi Famicom Perfect Guide. So, Perfect Guide of Nostalgia Family Computer. And this is just kind of like a book, so a magazine book, real popular in Japan. All about the Famicom. They have rankings, stuff like, let's see what they got over here. Urige, so difficult games. Shoujo game, so games with like beautiful girls in it. Athena, that's a good one. There you go, Layla, a little bit of Wings of Medulla. But yeah, stuff like that, little fun ones and some serious ones, best-selling games. Screenshots of commercials. And the very back, they also have like all the release dates for every Famicom game, and it's pretty useful. And I got this because I have the Super Famicom one and really liked it, and I was glad to find the Famicom one. All right, Tales of Fantasia illustration. So another Tales art book. This was $1, and it's got some official art. It's got a lot of tribute art from various popular artists for the characters of the game. So nice little art book. Not the hugest fan of Tales of Fantasia, but hey, if somebody's out there looking for something, let me know. This is that's upside down, but Super Mario Bros. 30th Anniversary Live album, which I'm pretty sure this is just a program for a concert that took place in 2015. But little bit of history on each of the titles. Credits for the people who are playing the instruments. This kind of reminds me of like the Lost Boys, like I didn't go to this concert or anything, but hey, I got the program, right? Why go to the concert? If you got why watch TV when you got a TV guide? I wish I could have gone to that concert. That would have been awesome. But here's the Super Donkey Kong 2 guide, and I think I already have this guide, so I was thinking about sending it over to Rewind Mike, since he's a big Donkey Kong Country fan. But Super Donkey Kong is just Donkey Kong Country in Japan, for those who don't know. Really beautiful, colorful guide as well. I really like that they have full maps using the actual graphics from the game. So yeah, really nice guide. And the last thing I got is the Senjo no Valkyria development artworks. They're Senjo no Valkyria Battlefield, but Chronicles of Valkyria in English-speaking regions. I don't know about anywhere else. But yeah, this is, I think an English version of this was released as well, but I think it's kind of pricey these days, but I found this for like $8, and I've always wanted it. And it's got tons and tons of course, information on the game, some artwork, check that out. Oh, there's Alicia, some bikini action for Alicia. I really love this game series. This is one of the, in my opinion, one of the best games that Sega has made since the Dreamcast. Everyone should play it, even if you don't like RPGs. I think you'll probably enjoy this game. It's more of a strategy RPG. Got like a lot of real-time action. Great story, great characters, great graphics. You see that over there? Vice. They have Skies of Arcadia, Eternal Arcadia cameos in here, which is awesome. Wish that game would get a sequel. But yeah, I actually have the third game in this series. I have all of them, but I have the third game in this series, and I wanted to do a video on that years ago, but I just never got around to. So whatever. I also have a special edition for this game. So that's one thing too. Like I had those boxes earlier, and I've wanted to do a series called Import Gaming LTD, which is going to talk about limited edition box sets that only came out in Japan. And so some the ones today I wouldn't talk about because I already talked about them here, but like giving a proper video treatment, like, you know, nice filming, a script and everything, in depth, going over all the contents and everything. Like, if you guys would be interested in that, let me know, and it might be something I do. I already know which game I would want to start it off with, and it's not this game, but I would want to do an eventual episode on the PS2 limited edition for this game because it's pretty kick-ass, just like the game. But yeah, I was gonna go over some other media that I got. Like I got a bunch of laser discs because it's 1994. But I got a bunch of laser discs and like mini discs and stuff like that. But I think I'm just gonna cut it here because this video is insanely long. But for anyone who's made it this far, thank you very much. I can't believe you're still here. Or maybe you just skipped. If you just skipped over here, then that's good. That's good on you. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed it. I probably won't do another Pickups video for a while unless something really crazy happens. But yeah, hopefully there's something you found that you liked, and I'll take any sort of suggestions, KYS included. And yeah, this last pickup over here too is perhaps the best pickup of them all. Some delicious Ginga Kogen beer. Best beer in the world in my opinion. If you come to Japan, get Ginga Kogen. Alright, that's it. You guys take care and have a great 2017, and hopefully I'll be a little bit more active this year. Take care. Oh, and 明けましておめでとうございます。